stay the same.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to RSC 12. Feels like an eternity since we've been away, but here we are with the draft lottery and the conference draw for both the draft tiers and Premier. And here next to me is Potter.
Mate, we're here yet again for yet another start of RSC, the draft, the best part, in my opinion, of the league. All the rosters get decided, but before that, you do have the draft picks where the GMs can then go ahead, do their trading, get and haggle their way to the best picks possible, use that to build their rosters, and we can see where the season's going to take us.
Yeah, and I'm back doing it for the first time in a while as well. I haven't missed this bit whatsoever. I've been sitting through tryouts, and now we're coming to the draft lottery side of things. And I guess our DMs are going to be a bit hot this week, Potter, once this is drawn.
Could well be, but we don't know. We don't know how things are going to go. There's been absolutely no rigging in this, so if Momentum get all the high picks, then it's definitely a coincidence. Same reason for Team Thrune coming in second for all the picks. It's just a complete coincidence, so don't come at us for that.
Yes, indeed. I actually haven't seen this source controls at all, so fingers crossed we all go well. And if people bring up that we're not doing marbles, we said last season, make us a course and we'll do marbles again, but no one has, so lo and behold, we're here with the 100-yard dash again tonight. But first off, we have the conference draw for the draft tiers, so let's get this started. Who is the first franchise?
Indeed, and I believe, Ark, which conference are we drafting to first?
I think it's Ignis usually first on the left-hand side. If Source can clarify that.
I suppose we'll find out. Luna, got to be the first
Ignis
franchise
first. So we've
spun
got
by the
Luna
wheel.
Esports first. Potter, do you want to tell a little bit about them?
Indeed, I can. Luna Esports rebranded franchise since season 3, formerly Chonka's franchise. It's been
You muted.
Borg.
Okay, so Luna Esports, rebranded franchise since season 3. It was initially Borg, then it transferred over to Reliable Family Car under Chonka, up to Static Caravan via Esports, and then Luna and Chonka transferred the franchise to Louis in season 7. The next one is this Glacies now? Sorry, I missed the stream. We've got
Apparently,
Forge.
I'm not muted.
Potter,
Hello?
are you back?
Could you hear me? Maybe it was just you who couldn't hear
Still
me because the
muted,
entire
but-
chat, the entire chat can hear me.
Okay, I can't hear Potter at all.
Well, Forge are getting drafted to Glacies, that's what we're going to. Suppose whilst Ark tries to figure out what's going on, we can take a look back at Forge's history and say that Axos has always finished top 3 as a GM on Arctic Frenzy and with Forge as well. Rebranded franchise since season 2. It's been Ancients, Heaven's Call, and Duck used to have this franchise as well. Xenos previously before that, as well as JSMR having a little stint as Forge owner at some point when it was Heaven's Call. It has been a staple in the RSC for a very long time, and I'm sure they're going to be dominating the Glacies conference this time around.
I can also hear you now, and that's random because I did nothing, so I don't know why it went in and out, but here you are. So next up we've got Ignis again, Source. And it looks like it is Might of Hades or Illusory. We've got Might of Hades, I think, Potter, and a new GM for them this season.
Yeah, a new GM, Slimy, the winner of Rival last season. Franchise veteran since season 6. It was initially known as Celestials. Never had success until reverse sweep in that grand finals, which their GM has won. And this is where Might of Hades goes now into Ignis alongside Luna Esports. And just as kind of a precaution, my camera is probably going to keep freezing if we do have technical difficulties. It's probably because I'm refreshing the page to get my camera updated. But I suppose that's going to be an issue for later on.
Next up for Glacies, we've got Visionary, and it was a brand new season for them last season in RSC, and it was quite a solid 8th place finish, Potter. Most of them making playoffs.
It truly was. It's second season in RSC for them, solid 8th place, as you say. Most teams do make playoffs. They're back in for RSC yet another season, and they're going to be in the Glacies conference this time around.
Indeed, and next up we have Ignis. There's the wheel spin. Thank you, Source. And it does look like Valkyrie Knights or Azteca. It's dead on in the middle. Which one have you got? Azteca. I'll let
Azteca,
you
the first
introduce
season
these.
in RSC, headed by Rubin as a GM. Snow coming through as the AGM, playing since season 5. Rubin playing in the RSC since season 7, being absolute staples of the community. They get their run in with a franchise and really get to show how far Azteca is going to go this season.
Yeah, and next up we have Glacies, so we'll get another wheel spin. So just to clarify, we've got Luna, Might of Hades and Azteca in Ignis, and so far Forge and Visionary in Glacies. And next up is Fearless Esports.
Fearless Esports coming in, headed by Buddha yet again. Struggling to find my notes. Where the hell have they gone? Suppose I'll let you introduce, considering I can't find absolutely anything on Fearless.
Yeah, sorry for the scuffness at the start. We have been away for like 8 weeks so far, so we're getting back into the swing of things. But Fearless Esports, an RSC veteran since season 7 with the same GM. They had a poor first 2 seasons, but I think they've had top 5 finishes in the last 3. We call it the Larsen effect sometimes. So next up we have the wheel spin again for Ignis. And here we go, Valkyrie Knights, Potter, and what a first season we had from them last season.
Great season for Valkyrie Knights. They won the franchise standings, headed by Kiriko Kingsman, the AGM, assuming up that GM spot this season. Their second season of that, winning Master in their debut season, and they look to do the same thing again.
Yeah, a strong showing from all their teams. Made playoffs in, I think, 4 or 5 tiers. So did a very strong performance, especially since that was the one franchise that we thought, do we let them in or not, to have some fresh blood in RSC, and them and Green Phoenix totally justified it. But next up, we have the next spin for Glacies. And who are we going to get, Potter?
Believe it's going to be Systema Solaris coming back through yet another staple in the RSC, headed by Yannick, as always, the longest serving franchise in RSC history, longest serving GM combo with that as well. Yannick being here since season 5, going into their 8th season in the RSC, winning 2 titles, Premier in RSC 9 alongside the Master Trophy in RSC 9, doing the double in that season. Nothing since then. They want to be changing that heading into RSC 12.
Yeah, and I think we'll just do one more for Ignis and Glacies before we head to a summary of where people are. So we've got 5 in each. So Source, if you could spin for Ignis. We have up next DSQ.
I'll let you take away this one, Ak.
Okay, so DSQ is the second season as a franchise. However, albeit they have had one season in between as a break. They had a disappointing first season with Tavish and Yo-Yo at the helm. I think they finished 18th or 19th, and then they were told to come back, have a good season in the ARS, which they did. I think they finished mid-table, and they are back with a second chance here. And I'm sure with Tavish being a non-playing GM, all his focus is going to be on making DSQ successful in the RSC. Next up for Glacies.
Last one joining Glacies as well before we do head to that summary. It looks like it's going to be your franchise, Arc. Team Serene heading into Glacies. I mean, you can tell us about yourself.
Yep, so Team Serene, I'm back as an AGM for the first time since Season 9. Joining Serenity, one of my best friends in the RSC. It's the 3rd season in RSC, and they've got a challenger title to go with that in RSC 11. Serenity's finally managing his own franchise as well. He's not going to Chrome Research, who unfortunately disbanded at the end of last season. But he did win an elite title over there, so fingers crossed he can be as successful here as he was over there.
Ignis, Azteca, DSQ, Lunar Esports, Might of Hades, and Volcry Knights. Glacies currently hosting Fearless Esports, Forge, Systema Solaris, Team Serene, and Visionary Knock. What do you make about these two conferences at this kind of midway point?
Looking very strong. I'm looking at that Glacies side with Fearless in the top 5 last season, Forge in the top 5 last season, Serene with a challenger title, and Visionary in the top 8. It's looking very strong, but also you've got Valkyrie Knights on the Ignis side, first in franchise standings. Might of Hades, 5th or 6th last season as well. I'm intrigued to see how Azteca DSQ make up the last place Lunar Esports from last season, though.
Seems like a lot of fresh blood coming into that Ignis side, but we can see who's going to be joining them. Maybe we get some more veterans of the RSC joining that Ignis side, trying to, balance that experience side out a little bit. However, drafting into Ignis yet again, it seems as if it's going to be either Illusory or Momentum hopping into it. I think that is going to be Momentum. My franchise, I'm going to be heading it alongside Swift as my AGM. We've rebranded from Waifu Fan Club this season. Coming in, new franchise, I own this with Serenity, who is GM of Team Serene. We won 1 title back in, I believe it was Season 10 in Elite with Kairu, Form, and Cubby, and hopefully we can repeat the same feat as that going into the season.
Yeah, I think it's a win rebrand. I do think you've lost a bit of respect with the anime lovers for this rebrand. However, you are the second most successful franchise with obviously the two season six titles as well. You've won 3 in total, so just 2 behind Symbiotes in that respect. So a new fresh start for Momentum, but going into the Glacier side, we have Ox Gaming, and they've had a bit of a refresh on the logo last season as well.
Need a refresh on the logo, but their structure stays the same. Heki as the GM, Punky as the AGM. Their 5th season as a franchise in the RSC with that same combination. They won the Premier Tier in RSC 10 with that infamous Dust Sucker roster and that infamous Dust Sucker run in that tier. They also won Prospect last season, and they want to keep that streak going. 3-way streak, 3 trophies in a row. Why not? Ox Gaming, go ahead and do it.
Ignis up next. We will have the 7th teams in each conference. So we've got Panthera Esports, it looks like, and they've had a change of management this season.
Did they have Big Chebs coming up to that GM spot? It's their 2nd season as a franchise. Change of management, as we say. Big Chebs into the GM spot. Mox as the AGM, I believe, heading into the Ignis conference, as we get to see who comes in next.
Yeah, the 7th team to join the ICE conference, which is, it looks like, to be Sanctuary, with B-Shake heading it this time, but with a new AGM.
Is a new AGM. I believe it is Mamba assuming that spot for Sanctuary. Sanctuary, a very community-hearty server community based in the RSC as well. Very influential. It's their 4th season in the RSC. They won Premier last season, and they got that rule change to make sure they can stay and have a Premier roster this season as well, and good luck to them in trying to retain that trophy.
Yep, and the 8th spot for Ignis. I think we'll go to a little recap before we do the final 4 after this one. But we do have Green Phoenix or Fort Templar. Which one will it be? It's Fort Templar, Potter.
Indeed, it is Skaze coming through yet again, but with a new AGM. It is Spacey assuming up that AGM roster. A soon-to-be veteran franchise since Season 8. It was a disappointing season for them in Season 10, but they bounced back and want to continue that on heading into RSC 12.
Yeah, and for Glacies, we have Illusory.
Illusory, their 2nd season in the RSC, they replaced Galamo, Laroni dropping down. They want to reach the top 10 this time around, and it's very competitive in the RSC. Do you think they'll be able to do it?
I do. Like Sanctuary, it's a very community-run server, so I think they will have fun over results in the end like they did last season. But I do know that Rahu wants to push the franchise towards that top 10 spot, and I do think he will be able to do it with the tactical nous that he's got. And after seeing him play as well, I think he'll do a good job in Master if he does decide to play again this season. But looking at the recap here, we see that Momentum, Panthera, and Fort Templar have joined DSQ, Azteca, and Luna into that Ignis spot, with Illusory, Ox, Sanctuary, and what's the next one? Yeah, joining that Glacier spot. So we've got 2 teams left in this area to get them sorted into. So Source, if you could take it away with the Ignis.
Shaman, Green Phoenix, Symbiotes, or Shadow Esports to come through, make up them final 4 teams, slotting into Ignis, slotting into Glacier. It's going to be Shadow Esports first, hop into Ignis. And Ark, what can you tell us about them?
Yeah, so Shadow Esports was initially one of the admins from ERS's franchise. It is their 3rd season in RSC and the first without Mutshuk. They had a great playoff run in RSC 10. I think they finished like 9th in franchise standings, but finished like 3rd in playoff standings to boost the GM of the season nomination. But they they kind of had a disappointing RSC 11. I think they finished around 11th or 12th, which, knowing Mutchuk, he'll be wanting to push them back into the top 10. And they've got Mr. Efficiency and Mithril running the franchise this season. So 2 players from that Nightfall roster.
Seems as if those two have been teaming for an absolute age, and here they are as a GM and AGM combo as well. But Shaman Esports coming into the ICE conference, believe now headed by Cynics. It's their first season with their new GM. He's AGM'd for most of Shaman's season. It's their 6th one now.
Yeah, 6 seasons. They are becoming a legacy franchise within RSC. One of the people who have been here the longest. But in here, we also have another legacy franchise in Symbiotes and a new one in Green Phoenix. So spin the wheel for the final Ignis one. And it looks like we're going to have Green Phoenix, the German leaded franchise, Potter, by Stingray and Sharky.
The German-led franchise. They had an amazing breakout season last time around. It's their 2nd season here in RSC 12, 2nd in franchise standings as well last season. They replaced the long-standing franchise Override and want to make that kind of staple their own.
Yeah, 100%. And just for clarity, we will spin the wheel the final time to see Symbiotes join the ICE or Glacies conference, as you want to call it. And it's looking like a great conference to be in, to be honest. I think both of them look as equal as it possible, like last season. But just a few rivalries, Team Serene and Symbiotes, obviously two franchises that are close to me. Fearless and Forge, top 5 last season. In Ignis, we've got Momentum and Might of Hades, as well as Valkyrie Knights, who were all in the top 6 last season. So Potter, a very, very close draw here.
Really, really is. I honestly don't think it could have got any more balanced. But the one thing I've started to realise is over all these seasons, you and I have had our franchises in. We've never played each other once. Ever since Season 7.
True.
We've never had Symbiotes against Waifu Fan Club, Momentum, Dark Magic, Veil, whatever franchise I'm deciding to run for that specific season. It's never happened.
Never. I'm looking forward to the day. But yeah, maybe we're just scared of each other.
Makes it more entertaining for the playoffs when they do eventually roll around. But we haven't even got to the draft yet, and I believe now we're going to head to the Premier Conference draw.
Yes, indeed. A bit of a change to Premier this season. We have scrapped qualifiers. Admins have had a lot of work on. We've had countless events coming in, Insomnia. So it's getting a bit hard to find time to run these events. So qualifiers have been scrapped. There's 16 teams, all headed by RSC organisations. If you are in Premier, you can feel free to hit them up for a spot. We're also advertising the players that have signed up to the GMs as well. So there are plenty of spaces for people to sign up. Only 2 or 3 have currently signed rosters. So there's still the chance there to be involved in Premier. It is 1970 plus this season as well, so a 50 MMR rise on last season, but take it away with the first Ignis spin. So first off, we have Shaman Esports in Ignis.
Indeed, we do. It is their 2nd season in Prem. Last time around, they made the playoffs with Haven, Pablo Bar, and Burke. Who knows what roster they're going to be coming out with for the RSC 12?
Yeah, indeed. I haven't seen any leaks or anything other than the 2 or 3 franchises that have done theirs already. So let's spin the Glacies wheel. Just to mention a quick rule change in Premier this season as well. The holders do retain a spot as well if they don't finish in the top 10, or obviously here 16 of franchise standings. So obviously Sanctuary or Team Husky winning a spot last season maintains that spot this season, which is something we didn't have in place. It also happened to Ox in season 10 as well. Next up we have Symbiotes in Glacies.
Yeah, they've made playoffs 3 out of 4 times in the Premier Division. but despite having this roster of Smokes, Tempo, Chippy, they've had Compact and Creamy there as well, but they've always lost every single playoffs. They haven't managed to bring the trophy home. Could RSC 12 be that season?
Well, we are one of the franchises that has sorted that roster already. We brought in Emil Vold, Icy, and Trebler with Casper as coach, and as soon as I saw that Casper was involved, I just brought them on board because he's such a nice guy, and he will be managing them. So next up we have Momentum, and obviously previously Nami Brigade Potter, and you've always had decent seasons. I think you're in the same situation as Symbiotes here, where you've had a really good side, but they just don't bring home the bacon.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate. We have, however, lost Charlie B this season around. We had Charlie B, Foxy, Daiki, and Morgan last time around. This time, it's going to be Daiki, Aliu, and NKS heading the Momentum banner. And I'm just excited to see this roster in action.
Yeah, if I believe I'm correct, NKS was on Panthera and made playoffs last season as well, so a good pick up there. Next up, we have the Holders, I think, joining Symbiotes, and this is going to be an Insomnia clash, since they played each other twice at Insomnia, I think, and it's Team Hosky. Obviously, won Insomnia Open, won the ERSC LAN, won RSC Premier 11. What's next for them?
Well, potentially another trophy is the short answer on that. But yeah, they won Premier and RSC 11, won everything in Insomnia. It's an absolute stable roster for RSC, and I'm sure they've got the eyes on the prize this time around.
Yeah, next up for Ignis, though, we have Domination Esports, and this is a roster that has only just been signed by Green Phoenix. They will be playing under Domination Esports, though, which is Kokun, Richmond, and Gogi. Sorry if I've just annihilated that. But it is their first Prem season. They are a former NTK Budapest team, and they do play in the Hungarian League. So not much known about them from an RSC standpoint, but I'm sure we'll get to know them very soon. But just a bit more on Team Hosky Potter. We didn't really expect them to win that Premier season, did we, until we brought in Flyco with that performance in playoffs.
Yeah, nobody expected it. It was an absolute miracle run. They had the somewhat roster change right before playoffs, and just dominated, really. Went through the upper bracket, brought it home, got the job done. It's when you do win it once, you don't really have any expectations or any willingness to drop that trophy, so I expect full fight out of them to come into RSC 12 with.
Yeah, 100%. I expect to see Smashy and Pluvo back at it with a new third maybe, but it is soulless in Glacies, so if you just want to go to a quick recap source, just see the teams that are currently in these conferences.
Green Phoenix, Momentum, and Shaman. The teams in Ignis, we have Dominion, Team Hosky, and System of Solaris in Glacies, as far as I'm aware. Solaris didn't really get to touch on them, but they won Prem in Season 9 with Juicy and Pablo. Juicy now being on the Moist Esports roster, which is cool to see from an RSC point of view.
Source just informed me that the logos aren't updating for some reason, so he's just trying to fix that issue, but we will just go back to the wheel. We will carry on until the 8th team have been drawn in each one, just to get that issue fixed. But next up in Ignis, it is Oblivion, and they'll be looking to improve on what was a not great first season in Premier.
No, it wasn't brilliant. It's their second season in Prem, and hopefully second time it's a charm for them. Don't want to go into another season. Hodge was kicked, struggled to play out the remainder of the games. It was just a scrappy, messy season for Shadow in Premier, and hopefully with the new management team coming in, they can get a solid roster, some solid foundations to Shadow Esports, and really send them to the top.
Yeah, and just reading chat, I believe we have had an announcement from Team Hosky as well. It looks like Flyco is joining that roster permanently, so coming back with the Premier winning roster to try and take down the teams this season as well. But we head to Glacies. It looks like we have Visionary Potter.
Visionary? Yep, that is correct. Your notes mentioned that they are linked with Sentient from Insomnia, so can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so obviously I took Symbiotes to Insomnia, and Visionary also linked up with Sentient Esports and called themselves Centenary and mixed both logos up. So I'm not sure who they're going to bring in as the roster for Visionary this season, whether they will stay linked with Sentient, but be interesting to see what they do and who they bring in.
I noticed that
Obviously, it was
Yujin
their
from
first
their original
season last
roster had
season.
signed up as well. So that could be interesting to see, where that player ends up going, if it is Visionary, if it is elsewhere.
Yeah, and I think this is Ignis, am I right?
Well, we'll find out when we do eventually get that recap. However, for the Forge team, they got first rounded in
Yep,
Prem
so
playoffs last
this
season.
is Forge in Ignis. You got anything to say about Forge, Potter?
They got first round in Prem playoffs last season. That was about it.
Potter's muted for me again, so I assume it's every time Source speaks to me that this is happening.
Source, if you can hear me spin the wheel, we can go to Ignis.
There we go.
Ignis Glaciers.
We're fixed now. So it is Division, and we have some roster details for this team, Potter.
You're going to have to expand on that because I don't see the notes correctly for Division.
It's because they're playing under Valkyrie Knights. So we've got Pesky as the captain, with Inferno, Youngstar, and Nico. I think that's supposed to be. He's got an X replacing a Val, like a lot of people do. But will we see Pesky play a game in Premier this season? Who knows?
I mean, I played one, so anybody can.
It's been a while since I have. I think it was season 8 when Kizzy played. I played in Premier. Here we are, 4 or 5 seasons later. But next up in Ignis, we will have
Ox Gaming, it looks to be. Yep, Ox Gaming win Premier to in RSC 10 with Tempo. And again, we don't really know what roster they're going to be bringing to the table this time around.
No, we haven't seen anything about the rosters yet. I think the 10th to 16th place teams only found out they were getting a Prem team a couple of days ago. So obviously they've got until May 22nd to get them registered and actually playing a game. So there are only 3 teams currently announced. But next up we have, going into the Glaciers Conference, and it's Fearless Esports, Potter.
Yep, Fearless Esports. 6 in the conference is their first season in Premier. You can get better than 6, Fearless Esports. I believe in you to bring in a top roster. You can come in, get the job done. I believe they had Larson, A-Puppy, and someone else. I can't necessarily remember the name. Wozjan, that's the one. Yeah, that roster, I suppose, they did, I suppose, as we expected them to do. I think Fearless can potentially attract a better team this time around and really go for it in this Premier Tier.
I think we did predict them last season and they finished 6th, so an improvement on 2 in the power rankings. I think they only had Larson registered at that point when we predicted this, so hopefully, I think Larson's dropping down to Master this season as well, so they might actually bring in some 1970 plus players to replace that roster. But next up we have in the Ignis Conference between Team Serene, Might of Hades, Fort Templar and Panthera. And it looks like we have Centurions, which is a Fort Templar roster, and they did win the very first iteration of the second iteration of Premier. I think it was season 9 under Wild, Potter.
Yeah, correct. Season 9 under Wild, which also led to Friday getting GM of the season in that season as well, using the Premier Tier as a tiebreaker for that award, but they failed to make the playoffs in their last 2 attempts. Could RSC 12 be the season we see Full Templar back in the playoffs?
Fingers crossed. They did have a disappointing franchise standings, I think, season 10, and they got back to winning ways last season, being in the top 7. So they are back where they belong. But next up, we have Feladay, a roster that is from Panthera Esports, and I assume that's some sort of species of panther or cat.
Suppose we could have one of the Panthera guys kind of elaborate on that for us. Maybe we can get the correct pronunciation alongside it as well. But it is their second season in the Premier Division. They made playoffs last time around with Blackstrike, Azza, NKS, and King JS.
Yeah, and we are down to the final 2 teams now. Team Serene and Might of Hades. Team Serene haven't had a Premier team so far. Kronos will return for a second season. And there we go. Kronos into Ignis Potter.
Yep, it is also Might of Hades' second season in Prem, Kronos' second season in Prem at that as well, but they failed to make it last time around with Serve, Rukia, and Berserk. Do you reckon they'll be able to do better this time around?
I'm intrigued to see how it goes. Obviously, I don't know if Senji and obviously now passing the buck on to Slimy know the Premier teams, know the Premier players. It'll be interesting to see who they bring in. Obviously, Serve knew Berserk last season. They did perform quite well, just results didn't go the way. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. But we also see Team Serene, who haven't really had a blast at Premier yet. And I think they're bringing in 2 of the Control Esports players in Hodge and Berserk. Since they're split with Serve. But we must say that Team Serene actually have been on the RLCS mainstream in MENA as well, so they have those connections too. So it'd be interesting to see who we bring in as the third to match up with them. But here we are, Potter. Do you just want to recap the conferences for us?
I suppose Ignis starting off, I've had some insider information from Axel saying that the Forge Premier roster will be LED, Rexo, and Zambo. So any thoughts on that?
Strong roster. I think most of those players were in the Premier tier last season. I can't remember under which franchise, but it's a very decent. I think I'd say top 4 team.
Yep. Forge, Fort Templar, Green Phoenix, Might of Hades, Momentum, Ox Gaming, Shadow Esports, and Charmin Esports taking up the places in Ignis, whereas Glaciers will be hosting Fearless Esports, Panthera Esports, Sanctuary, Team Hosky, Symbiote, System of Solaris, Team Serene, Volkrine Knights, and Visionary.
Yeah, and that concludes the conference draws for the draft tiers, for the Premier tier, and I want to thank you for coming in and watching it. It is a very high viewed stream tonight, and we thank you for coming and taking your time out to watch. I'm looking forward to how the matches fare up this season, and hopefully it's another competitive season, because for the last 4 or 5 seasons it's been very, very close within these tiers, and we want to keep it that way. Especially since we've had the biggest shake-up ever in the tier caps recently. If you haven't seen the tier list yet, everything got shaken up the other day, and it's messed with everyone's plans. If you had plans in the first week, that is. I always tend to say don't, because it can change. But here we are. Prospect is looking like a academy in ERS now, and here we are with the prize pool. 700 for Premier with a 600 and £100 split. Master is £400, Elite 200, Rival 100, Challenger 60, Prospect 20, and that is everything we're playing for.
It is, I believe, Brick and Brack Rule 1 and Synthesized Design sticking with us as the sponsors for RSC 12 as well. However, I think it's the time we get into the real kind of meat and potatoes of this stream, the thing which the people kind of want to see a lot more than the conference draws, and that is, of course, the 100 meter run for the draft picks up.
Yeah, like we said earlier, if you want us to go back to marbles, then build us a track that doesn't break like Senji's does, and we'll go back to this. But for now, here we are with a 100-yard dash, and we're starting off in Master this time. I think we may have started off at Prospect to Master in previous seasons, but we're going the opposite way around this time. Take it away, Potter.
Seems to be Forge taking an early lead. Team Serene catching up, but Vulcanize looking to take over. It's a massive leap, though, from Team Serene to rush into that first position. Green Phoenix coming up into second. Forge still hanging in that third space, but they seem to be dropping behind. Green Phoenix, again, a massive surge forward. Could they be taking home this first pick in Master? What a crucial pick it could be for their season, considering how high the Master tier seems to be. Forge still in that second spot. They've climbed back up to it. They want to potentially take over the first spot, but Green Phoenix not letting loose. Shaman Esports coming out of nowhere, occupying that second spot. Now Green Phoenix looking to cross over the line. Illusory coming up. Panthera, I believe, taking third. Charmin in second. It's absolute manic. Loads of people. It's a photo finish, it seems to be up.
Yeah, indeed. And we just have the last few little tortoises running past the line now. Fearless in 20th there. They are the slowest of the lot. And there we have it. The top three, Green Phoenix, Shaman and Luna, followed by Panthera, Illusory, Valkyrie, Symbiotes, Momentum, Azteca, Forge, DSQ, Might of Hades, Team Serene, Systema Solaris, Ox Gaming, Fort Template, Sanctuary, Shadow, Visionary, and as we said, followed by Fearless Esports. So that is Master. So we'll head on to Elite next. Just want to say a quick, obviously with you being here as well as the prize pool and our sponsors, we couldn't run this league without the donations and voluntary money that is given to the RSC as well. You do keep the league going. We've already had a hype train tonight with subscriptions, so it'd be nice if everyone was able to give anything that they can to us as well, because that can boost future prize pools and keep us running. We are all voluntary after all, and we don't want to stop after season 12. We'd love to carry on for another 12, so if you can help out the RSC and obviously server boosters as well, then that'd be amazing. You all go onto the donation list and get perks in the server, but here we head up. Azteca going for a straight lead now, but Illusory have caught up, Potter.
Did they have Illusory taking over that first spot? It's neck and neck between Azteca and Illusory. Momentum catching up as well. Illusory massive dash into the lead. Momentum seems to have fallen behind. Azteca as well slipping into the deep depth of mid-table. Panthera trying to catch up into it. Azteca though still climbing onto Illusory's tail. Illusory, it's going to be a hard choke if they somehow don't get this first pick in Elite. Azteca still looking up. Azteca, it's a massive dash. Can they claim that first pick? It seems like they can get over the line. Illusory, it seems to have all gone wrong. DSQ and Fearless coming in as well. DSQ into second, Illusory into third, Fearless fourth, Full Templar fifth, Momentum seventh, Team Serene sixth, Shaman eighth, and still loads of franchises coming in. Systema Solaris and Shadow, Forge as well coming in, being the slow coaches at the back of the train. The Shadow still struggles to cross the line.
Yeah, and here we have the roundup. Elite first, Azteca, second DSQ, third Illusory, Fearless fourth, Fort Templar fifth, Serene sixth, Momentum seventh, Shaman eighth, Sanctuary ninth, Ox 10th, Visionary 11th, Green Phoenix 12th, Luna 13th, Valkyrie 14th, Panthera 15th, Symbiotes 16th, Might of Hades 17th, Forge 18th. Looks like Axos could be getting nerfed here from his top three finishes. Systema Solaris 19th and Shadow 20th. Poor Mutshucks.
Well, there we go. That is Elite concluded. We try and get ahead over into Rival. What do you make of the draft pick so far? Have you noticed anybody who's been really good, really poor? Anybody just bang average?
I think Azteca will be really pleased. First season, first pick in Elite. It gives them a lot to work with. They could, if they have a keeper, they could use that to bargain in other tiers. But if not, they could get whoever they like straight away in that tier. I think it looks pretty even so far across the board. Nothing that I've seen that I've gained like a massive advantage or massive disadvantage. So we see the final three tiers here now, and we start in Rival.
Yeah, Loser is still coming through. Green Phoenix as well, having a really solid start. Nox Gaming leading the line, though, in first place. Momentum, Lunar Esports, Forge, Fort Templar, all catching up on the tails as well. It's going to be a really close finish here to see who claims that first pick In the rival tip, nobody crossing the line just yet. Green Phoenix, Full Templar, Ox Gaming going to be the ones to claim the first pick. It's going to be neck and neck between Full Templar, Green Phoenix, and Illusory, but it is Team Serene to claim the second pick. Green Phoenix in third, Full Templar in fourth, Visionary in fifth, Illusory in sixth, Luna in seventh, Shadow in eighth, Panthera in 9th, Fearless in 10th, Symbiotes in 11th, Might of Hades in 12th, Sanctuary 13th, Forge 14th, Momentum in 15th, Azteca in 16th, System of Solace in 17th, DSQ in 18th, Valkyrie Knight in 19th, and Shaman Esports coming dead last.
Well, Serene can cook in rival now, I'll just say that. But we see Azteca go from 1st to 16th, so that is the pain of the draft lottery. You get one good pick and then you get an absolutely shambles the next. We did actually put something forward to the GMs this season. Potter, I know you'll have seen it. We did process like 20 even picks, so like a bag pretty much. So like we'd only have to do one race, but all the picks would be even across 5 tiers. So you'd maybe get like 1st, 4th, 7th in the top 3 tiers, and then like 18th and 20th in the other. But GMs wanted to stick with this look at the draw really, and see, like, just deal with it if you don't get the great picks. So here we are carrying on with this. Who wants even odds anyway?
Not me, because I voted against it.
Yep. I was actually for it for once, just to see everyone be equal on the playing field, but here we are in Challenger, and we'll see who is even at the end of this one.
Seems to be Green Phoenix again having a really good start. Full Templar pushing into the lead though for the Challenger first round pick. It seems to be something which they really want. They're starting to stride ahead. But Lunar Esports coming through, really wanted to get themselves up at the bottom, I believe, of the franchise standings. Challenger not being their best here last time, want to make it the best this time around. It could be a very good start for them with the first round pick. Full Templar, Forge, Sanctuary as well, coming through, looking for the top 5 spots. DSQ as well, leading behind, but Valkyrie Knights really having a stinker in this one. They are really lagging behind, but Lunar Esports should be the first to cross. Yes, they are. Sanctuary coming into second, nobody close third. Forge cross over the line now. DSQ in fourth, Full Templar in fifth, Solaris in sixth, Team Serene in seventh, Shaman Esports in eighth, Visionary in ninth, Panthera in 10th, Symbiotes in 11th, Illusory in 12th, Azteca in 13th, Momentum in 14th, Green Phoenix in 15th, Fearless 16th, Might of Hades 17th, Shadow Esports 18th, Valkyrie Knight 19th, and Ox Gaming in 20th.
Yeah, as you said earlier, Luna not having the best season last season, obviously caught with a smurf into like week 7, I think, and ended up forfeiting a lot of matches. But getting first pick here is massive for them. They have a lot to work with, and they might be able to build a much better roster. Not that the roster was bad in the first place. Obviously, Hilo was on there, and he is performing very well in Challenger as well. But Sanctuary second and Forge third. It's a much better pick in the previous tiers that they've done. But poor Ox Gaming, I think they've just won first in one of the tiers, and now they get 20th again.
Indeed, they do. But this is the thing about the draft lottery. Some teams get good picks, some teams get average picks, some teams don't do very well. And it's about trying to get yourselves out of that when you don't do very well, and try and still manage to push yourselves up the table. Because draft lottery isn't absolutely everything. Trades are involved, and it's actually loads of hidden gems in the draft as well. Maybe don't go to combines, maybe don't go to tryouts, so you can really just pick them up and see how it goes. But the final time for the RSC 12 conference draw here in Prospect, Momentum taking the lead early on. Fearless Esports, believe, in second so far. Illusory as well, having a really good conference draw this time around in their second season of the RSC. But it's Forge taking the top spot. It's really equal for these top 5, 6-ish places. But DSQ haven't really left the starting blocks. Azteca as well, coming in pretty late. Valkyrie Knights lagging behind as well. But Fearless Esports, Momentum, Sanctuary as well, really wanting this first round pick. Forge coming in behind as well. Illusory is still really close. Fearless could be the first ones to edge the line though. They're almost there. Are they able to get their next over the line? Yes, they can. Fearless taking fourth. Forge should be coming in for second, but no, it's going to be Sanctuary to Robert O'Reilly. Illusory coming in with third. Momentum have really fallen behind. Forge coming into fourth. Fort Templar potentially fifth, but they do end up coming in eighth. Really close race in the Prospect. Momentum ending up in seventh, but Azteca not able to cross the line just yet, as I believe they're going to be coming into 20th.
Yeah, indeed. And you asked me earlier, have you seen any sides that have gained anything from this other than the 13th place that Serene got in the first one? I've noticed us getting like top 7 in every other one, so I think Serenity's going to be happy with these picks at the end of the day. Fearless, after finishing 20th in the first tier, get first here. Azteca, again, won a tier earlier on and finished 20th. Luna get first in the last tier and get 19th here. So it looks like you get a bad tier if you win one of them at least.
I think I've had just a bang average draft, to be honest. Draft, conference draw. Draft is later. Draft is next week. But the Master, just to recap, here are your picks in the conference draw. Don't know if we'll get an average at the end, but eventually there will be an average of all these picks so we can really start to see who your favourites are going to be heading into the RSC 12 season.
Yeah, I'm just reading chat, and Slimy has done 12th, 17th, 12th, 17th, 13th, so Might of Hades, after their first successful season, haven't really had a great draft lottery. Green Phoenix, 1st, 12th, 3rd, 15th, 14th, Sanctuary, 17th, 9th, 13th, 2nd, and 2nd. Valkyrie, 6th, 14th, 19th, 19th, 13th. Shaman, 2nd, 8th, 20th, 8th, 15th, so... we've also got Illusory 3rd, 12th, 6th, 3rd, and 5th. So Illusory looking like the benefactors of this draw tonight with Symbiotes. 7th, 11th, 11th, 16th, and 17th. Reminds me of a couple of seasons ago where we had 17th average. Mutshuk, 20th, 18th, 18th, 9th, and 8th. Other than the 9th and 8th, that is really a horrid lottery. But yeah, there's some people... Oh, Visionary, 19th, 11th, 5th, 10th, and 9th. That's not a bad lottery. Axlos on Forge, 10th, 18th, 14th, 3rd, and 4th. So, Azteca, 9th, 1st, 16th, 13th, 20th. A lot of average drafts, some bad ones, but we'll see how this plays out in the trading. Obviously, for the new people that don't know already, GMs get to trade these around. So in the draft prep that you can see on the dates format in the RSC, obviously that starts tomorrow and goes until Wednesday, where they can trade picks for 48 hours and try and get who they want, what they want, and try and bargain chip with what they've been given tonight. So this isn't how it will look on Friday and Saturday. Potter, if there's any information I missed, just let us know.
No, you've covered up quite a lot of information. You've gone through pretty much anything, so I haven't picked up on anything you potentially may have missed. Did a perfect job on.
Thank you. It's been 8 weeks, but it feels like we've never been away. I don't think me and Source have actually had a break. It's our off season, and we've been just running events and Insomnia, and I think Source is on his last legs at the minute. The first stream he's done since last... When did we go Insomnia? Last Sunday. So I haven't had too much time off at all, but I'm sure we'll be raring to go once the season starts, and looking forward to pre-season. There's just a final recap of Prospect. As you can see, Fearless 1st, Luna at 19th, Aztec at 20th. But we'll just run over a bit of the format, Potter, of the RSC. So do you want to let all the new players in the stream know what we do, what we run as a draft league, how many franchises, game days, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, of course. So draft, all these picks here are going to be hassled out, traded away by GMs in order to get themselves the best possible picks in order to pick you as players. Draft, the actual event of draft, is going to be taken over the course of 2 days next week. That is Friday the 21st and Saturday the 22nd. On the Friday, we're going to be going halfway through the draft, and on the Saturday, we're going to be doing the other half of every tier in the draft. After that, it will be preseason. There's going to be more than 4 players drafted to our roster, potentially 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players drafted to one franchise in one specific tier. It's over the course of preseason. Everybody's going to get to play games, 4-game series, no best of 5s, no best of 7s, no best of 3s. 4 games are played. You can have draws, you can have wins, you can have losses. Anything can happen within the RSC. Get to test your mettle, fight for your spot, and eventually the roster will be cut down to 4 players. If you are cut from your roster, that is not the end. You can become a free agent, potentially try out for other teams and find your home for that season. Eventually then it will go into league play, which is most likely 8 or 9 weeks of straight Rocket League, 2 matches per week. You can play Monday through Sunday anytime. Source has popped up and it's completely threw me off. But yeah, league play is going to consist over these 8 and 9 weeks. 4-game series. You can win, you can lose, you can draw over the league play as well. Same format as preseason. Then you have the playoffs. I believe top 3 are going to head into the upper bracket of the playoffs, and then it is 4th, I believe, to 7th get the play-ins, try and fight for a lower bracket spot, and eventually at the end of these 8 and 9 weeks, these playoffs unfold, the play-ins unfold, the playoffs unfold, and that's where you get your championship. And that is a very brief summary of the RSC. If you want to go into any more detail, or if I've missed anything off, let Ark know.
Don't DM me though, or ping me, please. We get enough of them. Like I said, we've not had a break yet. But now, in all seriousness, just press @ new player in the server, and it'll give you all the information that you need, or what channels you need to go to, so that you don't need to come to us. You can also do # dates. That'll also give you the dates of every single playoff. The format is completed. We've outlined when every game will be played every week for the playoffs. So season schedule is out, and yeah, there's not really much else that we can say. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a well-watched stream. We hope that we can see you throughout the season. We'll be putting a ping out about if anyone wants to revoke signups or become PFAs prior to, I think we'll be doing it before tomorrow. We just need to push those final few signups tonight. We've got a lot to get through. I'll probably be online for another 6 hours trying to get stuff pushed through so that we can close everything. Anything else? Obviously, like I said earlier, all your donations help run this league. We obviously have sponsors, but we also need people's help to keep the server running. Like, obviously, we've got server boosts, Twitch subscriptions. You can also donate to the PayPal. Because Twitch does take a lot of money off you for those subs. So if you want to donate straight to us, then that's amazing for us, and obviously we'll give you perks within the server as well, and you'll have your name on our streams, etc. Anything else? Join us for this draft stream on Friday and Saturday. Yeah, it's over 2 days now. We'll be doing the Master to Prospect rounds 1 to 3 or 4 on the Friday, and then Master to Prospect rounds 3 or 4 to rounds 7 or 8 on the Saturday. Obviously, it was 5.5 hours last time, so my voice can't last that long anymore. I'm 33 years old. We needed to split it up. Source is getting on as well, so I think his white hairs have come through all last season. So we're splitting it up, and hopefully you enjoy this new system. Hopefully it brings people over 2 days. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I can't think of anything else. Just join us on draft and see where you get put onto your teams, and then we'll start pre-season, and then RSC will be all set and raring to go. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks Source for streaming. Give us a little wave. And thanks, Potter, for joining in as well. I know you had an ERS game and jumped straight from that, so thank you very much for being here. I'll let you close out.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Just to avoid any confusion for newer players potentially watching the stream, everybody gets picked. You will have a team. No need to worry about that. Even if you haven't done any tryouts, you've missed all the combines, you've only just signed up, you will get a team. Don't worry, you will have your chance to play a little bit of Rocket League. But other than that, we'll see you on Friday for the draft. Take care.
Fake love come and go, especially when money grow. That's why I be staying low.